Are we on? Fuck you, Zuckerberg. I'm out of here. Weasel.
No bullshit.
My point of view does not necessarily equal that of the No Bullshit News Hour.
No bullshit.
Oh my, let's just do breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
No bullshit.
Yo, yo, yo. What up? Share. Is that right?
You got it, yeah.
Where's Red when you need him? I'll tell you where Red is. He's down south. Taking some bullshit. Getting ripped off, being put down. Red called me up and was crying.
What?
Red's on a comedy tour of the Deep South. Detroit comedian Red.
A comedian crying?
Yeah, sad clown, man. You know why? Because it's no secret, anybody that's watching. Red is half white, half black, completely raised black. And he's catching shit down there.
Huh.
You know, Karen, me and you, mixed people, it ain't easy.
No, it's not, Charlie. And sometimes, like you said, it's from the people that you consider to be your own. It happens.
And you know what? There ain't your own. Your only own is your family and your friends. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that what we're learning?
Every day. That's true.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Charlie, and everybody. I appreciate that. Thank you.
How old are you?
Keep going, Charlie. You got a show to do. Let's go.
Are you? You're 31 times 2.
Oh, no, I'm not. Don't say that.
Minus a year or 2 or 3. I got you something. Are you ready, girl? Are you ready, my most elegant friend? You see those flowers in the background there?
Yes.
I sent you those.
Did you really?
No.
Okay, they forgot to put your name on them. But
Yeah,
okay,
they did.
that's
I
fine.
mean, my mother used to be a florist.
That's right, yeah.
And so always, listen, if you're going to send a beautiful woman like Karen a floral arrangement, don't do roses. Roses reek
Or carnations.
of insincerity.
I don't like carnations either.
They reek. Not on Mother's Day, not on Sweetest Day. Don't get roses. Don't do it. They just, you know what that's like?
What?
It's like walking into a mall and grabbing the first thing you see. It's
easy.
That's true.
However,
But you have to acknowledge the thought, Charlie. So, I mean, a lot of times people rely on the floors to make that decision. So I'm not going to penalize somebody for being thoughtful. So thank you.
Did you say penis? Is Tim going to give you some penis?
Charlie, do I have to hang up on you and you do this show by yourself today?
No, please. Hold on.
Okay.
I got you this gift.
I don't want it. Whatever it is, I'm scared. I don't want
It's
it.
right here. Hold on.
Let's just
Going to
go.
give it to you.
I'm going to hang up, Charlie.
Here it is, Karen.
What the hell is that?
It's
A trophy.
what's it? Detroit's
Karen.
#1 podcast trophy.
Okay,
The Drew
thank
and
you.
Mike show. But they're not using it.
No.
So
All right.
I love you. You know, happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, look, real quick, before we get into a word from our sponsors, the show's absolutely, unbelievably dynamite today. We have Jeremy Kauffman. Hey, Jeremy, do you pronounce it Kauffman or Kauffman?
Kauffman.
It's Kauffman, dude.
I'll have to tell my father.
Come on, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in southeastern Pennsylvania, like about half people with the last name of Kauffman, I think.
Like Philly, right?
Yeah, Philly, yeah.
How come everybody in New York's Kauffman and everybody in Philly's Kaufman?
Because Philly's better than New York.
What do you say about that, LePay?
What,
Anthony
we don't all
LePay.
agree on that? People like New York?
I love them all, man. Okay, listen, Jeremy Kauffman is the founder of, library, which is basically a block. What is it? What is it, Jeremy? Real quick.
Library does to publishing what Bitcoin does to money. It says you get to stay in control. You don't have these bullshit big tech companies in the middle of what you do.
Okay, and so on top of that, the platform is Odyssey.com, which is basically the next generation of YouTube, but you can't really be edited. It's a blockchain. We'll get into that. Y'all know we've been shadow banned. You know Reddit fucked me over. You know the Filipinos are stealing my shit. So we've been looking for a place to get where they can't shut us down because we tell the truth. We actually do the work. So we're going to have Jeremy at the top of the program here. Also, Anthony LePay, an old friend of mine, executive producer and showrunner for season 2 of While the Rest of Us Die on Vice Television. Yep. This episode, it aired last night. The game is rigged.
It's really good.
And it's really good. The show is really good.
And it has you in it.
And it has me in it. That's not enough of me. It would have been better. But he's on to tell you what he's doing. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, how are you?
And of course, Red from Atlanta crying in his motel room. And the most outrageous of them all. The lost little school in Detroit on the east side, surrounded by blight and shooting houses and needles and rodents. You said, Mr. Mayor, that the children mattered most. So this mythological comeback of yours, you said the most important people were our children. We all say it's our children. The election's 2 weeks away. You won't debate. I'm here, motherfucker. Me and you. Me and you. Nobody else will do it. Karen, nobody else will even challenge the myth, except Anthony, who comes into town and shows it. The myth of what's going on. Mm-hmm. Where's the stuff for us? The battle cry of America. Where's the stuff for us, we the people? And I don't even care. I'm going to die real soon. Real soon.
Why so soon?
Well, because God said so. The minute he gave me the life, told me he's going to take the life.
Well, not so soon.
I'm starting to get up there. I'm almost as old as Karen.
then you have a lot of years left, Charlie. We got stuff to do.
Well,
you don't have time to die.
But you're so much more put together. You don't smoke. You don't drink. You don't cuss.
I think so soon will be because she's going to shoot you.
Now that might happen.
Karen's going to shoot me.
She'll strangle you.
But in the keeping of the no bullshit news, we don't wait around for people to do the work. We do the work. We don't sit here and commentate. We're in the street. Okay. But before we do that, right here, look at this here. Remember, our dear sponsors at American Coney Island, the oldest family-run restaurant in Detroit, maybe Michigan. Did you know, Anthony and Jeremy, that across from American Coney Island, exactly downtown, right across the street, part of the boarded up kind of ruins of this city, is the theater where Harry Houdini performed his last show before dying on Halloween in Detroit Receiving Hospital. Did you know that theater is right across the street from the American Coney Island?
I did not know that, but you took me to American Coney Island and it was excellent.
Yeah, the best.
It is.
So they're doing a big 95-year anniversary of Harry's last show. Harry, by the way, got punched in the gut by a fucking Canadian. You know these guys. These sucker punch guys, right?
Yep.
He was in Montreal at McGill University. They punched him, burst his appendix. He comes to Detroit to do the show. And what, you're eating more?
What?
Stop eating the props.
I'm not eating anything. I'm showing it off, man.
This is my narcoleptic friend. Anyway, listen. Sunday, October 24th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're going to have music, an illusionist, an historian. We're going to celebrate the 95th year anniversary of Harry Houdini's last show right across the street from American Coney Island. It's going to be awesome, right? Hey, Mark.
What?
They're featuring the Houdini Weenie.
That's what I was showing you, yeah.
You know what it is?
What?
It's
besides in my mouth.
It's a special only for Sunday. Go ahead, cut to that, Joey. Now you see it. Yeah, now you don't. Now you know why your neck's so fat.
Hey, Charlie, do you know why that guy sucker punched him?
Yeah.
You know the story?
Yeah. because he was a student at a liberal arts college in Canada. He's a foxy liberal.
No, that Houdini, he would allow people to come up and punch him in the gut. That was like one of his tricks. He would just, and the kid, sucker punched him. He wasn't ready. But that was one of his tricks, was he would allow people to punch him as hard as they could in the stomach.
What a fucking show.
He was a tough dude, man.
Look what we got on this show.
A lot of smart.
Not only is the guy hip to international finance, he's an expert in Harry Houdini in liberal arts.
I may have just made that up. But
yeah, no one's fact checking him.
I think that is the story.
All right, and also
knows and it becomes truth.
Yeah, true.
all right, give me Luke Nowacki real quick. Listen to that. That's original. You guys know who cut this tune? Maurice Davis, the king of party blues, and also a Flint City councilman who decided that he was going to endorse Trump because nobody was giving Flint nothing. Then they started calling him Uncle Tom. He got voted out of office, and now he's going to run for mayor. But he's not an Uncle Tom. He's a man. He's a Democrat. He just was going with what he thought best. But listen to this.
They're the best in the business.
You know who else is the best in the business?
Who?
Luke Nowacki.
He is.
Because he knows overreaction is not a strategy, gentlemen. The market's up, it's down, inflation, what are we doing? What's with the unemployment? Don't guess.
I don't know.
You can do some Bitcoin. You can do library. You can invest in Vice TV. You can do real estate with Karen's husband. But you have to diversify. And if you don't really know what you're doing, call for some expert advice. That would be who?
Luke.
What's his number?
248
663
3
47.
Oh.
Man, we'll fix that in post.
No, you won't.
248-663-4748 for rational financial advice. Boom. Let's get to it. Jeremy Kauffman. Give us your title real quick.
I'm the CEO and founder of Library, LBRY, which I'll say, in case we get too nerdy, Odyssey is the thing to use. ODYSE.com. It's used by 50 million people a month. It's like YouTube a decade ago when they let independent people speak instead of all the corporate bullshit that they do now. And that's it. It's easy. So we're going to talk about blockchain and all this nerdy stuff. And if people are interested in that, I'm interested in it. I'm a nerd, but you don't need to be a nerd to use it. You go to Odyssey or you install the Odyssey app. Boom. It's easy. And you're back in a place that's much better than what big tech has become.
Now let's go back because Karen and I are very concerned about this. We're getting shadow banned, man.
It's real. It happens.
I did it. Oops. Oh, I showed the cigarettes. Uh-oh. You know what they do? They pull it.
Yeah.
They don't.
I think, but you just caused several million people to get cancer. Just putting that on the screen. That's the way it works. That's why they got to stop you. It's CNN only now. That's all they're.
What's with the hate? The CNN, these fake motherfuckers like, we're from the regular people. My grandfather was a truck driver. We're from Gary. We moved on up to Detroit, and then we had to get in the fucking Monte Carlo and drive back down to Gary for the holidays, and my parents would be puffing away in the car. It's the winter, so the windows are rolled up. And you know what you had to do to breathe? You had to stick your nose in between the backrest and the seat to look for the quarter and the scrap of fucking clean air. That's what it was. I'm sorry. That's what happened. I'm just a person born on earth in the time I was. So here's Jeremy, look. I worked at the New York Times. Them fuckers didn't like what I was writing about regular working people. Now it's all about regular working people, and they don't know a thing about regular working people. So they kicked me off the working people bee. I go to work for Fox. You know what Fox did? They told me don't do stories on Trump. Don't do stories on Rick Snyder, the governor that poisoned Flint. Don't do stories on the mayor, Mike Duggan. Don't do stories, Anthony, you remember when we were talking on the piece, which we'll get to later, about the mortgages that went belly up and things got burned down and repossessed, pulled it off the air. They told me not to.
Wow. I didn't realize. Yeah, I remember. Now I remember you saying that. Yeah, you did a lot of forensic investigating there.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
The New York Times covered us, and they just lie. Or if they don't lie, they mislead people. It's just what they do.
Smug motherfuckers. Look, I'm into smart people and a smart take, but Why you got shit on everybody, man? Everybody trying to make a better world. At least some of us, right? Okay,
Right.
now finally this. Reddit. Number one video. This guy right here. Number one video on Reddit all time for 3 years running until some fucking weasel says, well, isn't what LeDuff doing political speak? You know, because they were news pieces. Local news piece. One local news piece is number one in the world for 3 years. And you know what they did? Well, you got a point there. And they took everything down and they stuck it in a subfolder. Now it was political speech. Okay, now we're on Facebook, and here's the new deal, brother. Here's what the political operatives from the Democrats and the Republicans do. They know you can flag anybody on Facebook. It's a lie. It's a lie. He's not telling the truth. And so we're getting, what are the words? Let's see here. I wrote them. Blocked, banned, marked, right? I'm like,
That's right.
I'm fucking done. So
That's right.
what do you got at Odyssey? Pitch me.
Dude, we make all that stuff impossible. It can't happen again, right? And in terms of why, that gets into the library technology, which I don't want to go too deep on unless you want me to. But basically,
Go a little bit.
There's not a middleman, right? So we've done this in this way. It's all open source. It's all decentralized. It's all peer-to-peer. So, you know, when you build up your following on YouTube, on Facebook, you're not an owner of your following. You're a renter, all right? And you've got a landlord who can kick you out whenever they want.
Yep.
And we have completely flipped the design. We've said we're out of the way. It's a peer-to-peer connection between creator and fan or follower, and we want to not exist, right? So we're doing it direct between the two of you. So we literally don't have the ability to do the same things that these big tech companies are doing. And that's part of our advantage, is that we can't do it. And we're not even promising you that we won't do it. We've designed the system so that we can't do it.
How do you stop things like pornography or live streaming violence? I mean, there's got to be a gatekeeper somewhere.
Right. So that gets into the difference between Odyssey and library, right? So like you're not, Odyssey does do some filtering and blocking of things that are illegal or just adult content, things that people might not want or that aren't right for the Odyssey brand. But library as the underlying technology, like think of it as, this isn't the sexiest comparison, but think of it as closer to something like email, right? Where you're not trapped. If you want to leave your email provider, you can go to another one because it's this interoperable network, right? And that's what we've built. That's what the library technology does. Similar to the way that Bitcoin is a technology, you can use all different kinds of pieces of software and so on that interact with it. That's what library does. So you own your channel the same way that you own a Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency. When someone follows you or subscribes to you, that's going into their cryptocurrency wallet. It's not just being recorded on some server that we own.
So let's see if I can make this simple. See if I'm right. I'm not an expert. I'm the guy that goes through budgets. It's blockchain technology, meaning like one motion, one movement on this string is recorded. And then anything played with that is built on top of it, and anything that comes from that is built onto. So it's basically a long fossil, a long chain, and you can't bust the chain, meaning you can't pull me out of your chain. Is that right?
That's right. That's
Hey,
right. And we don't even own the
me.
chain.
Look
We don't
at
even
me.
own the chain. Yeah. It's your channel, right? Like when you have a channel on YouTube, that's YouTube's channel. YouTube owns your channel. It's their property. It's not your property. When you have a channel in this system, it's your channel. But I really want to say again, because we talk about this stuff, sometimes people get nervous. Odyssey is so easy to use. My mom can use it. Anyone who can use YouTube is going to be able to use Odyssey.
It looks like YouTube. I mean, I don't mean that as a put down. It looks as simple as YouTube.
Yeah, we got rid of this greeting message because it was too weird for people. But in the early days of the software, we used to say that it's like dating a centaur. So it looks normal from the top up, but the underneath is way different. And so that's the design of this system.
So what's the business advantage for you, Jeremy? I mean,
I was just about to ask, what's the model?
Yeah, how is it advantageous for you as an owner or creator?
Yeah, well, let's remember that YouTube is making tens of billions of dollars a year, and they're taking 50% of every ad dollar. They charge you $10 a month just to be able to, do background play on your phone. So there is lots of room and space to be, effectively undercutting them. Odyssey does do advertising. Odyssey does credit card payments, so you can tip creators and so on. And Odyssey takes 5% of that. We also do, we can do paid software and paid development and things like this. It's not a new company. We've been at this for years. We're well funded, and we're already, approaching profitability.
So you'll have a Patreon kind of component to it as well?
That's right. So you can get tips from your fans. And if anyone, if you're on YouTube, we also have a tool that literally one click takes under a minute to set up. Your entire channel can be copied over, not just in the past, but on an ongoing basis. So for YouTube creators out there, it's very, very easy to get onto this system. And that's the first thing we recommend, right? Like, because if you are on these big tech sites, it's really tough to feel safe. They change the rules on you all of the time, and you just have no control. You have no ownership. You have no say. And so, if you don't like that idea, this is a chance to fix some of those things. But you don't have to quit. You can just start using Odyssey as well.
And look, I got hijacked by the Filipinos, probably Russians routing through the Philippines. Is it safe?
Yeah, it's safe. It's absolutely safe. There's nothing unsafe about it.
I mean, can my channel on Odyssey get hijacked by a hacker, seeing as it's a blockchain?
I can't. That's actually something we can't promise. I mean, if someone steals your password or steals your thing, we can't necessarily stop that from happening, unfortunately.
And what happens? Look, can I ask a question? What happens if there's a video?
No, you can't. No. You sit there in your Manhattan high rise, you fucking 1%, and shut the fuck up.
This is an important question. I think your listeners are going to want to know the answer. What happens?
He's EPing me. I'm getting EP'd again.
What he does.
It's like driving around with the guy again. No, that's not what happened in Detroit. No, go ahead, Anthony. I'm apologizing.
What happens if there's a video that accuses me of being a child sex trafficker? Like where do you get into those? The kind of
what brought that example to mind?
We don't make the legal system go away, right? And the right view of LBRY is that it's a pure technology, the same way that Bitcoin is, or SMTP, which does our email, or HTTP, which does the web. If people use technology, or a knife, or a gun, if people use a technology in a bad way, in a wrong way, in a harmful way, we still have a legal system. We're still operating within that legal system. We're not trying to get rid of it. You go after the people who are using the technology in a wrong or bad way. You catch them. You either get a civil or a criminal violation against them.
That's my question. Do I have to have a cease and desist for you to take that down, or do you have your? This is where it gets really complicated. I'm sure.
Right. No, we are still operating within the U.S. legal system, and so if we receive legal orders or this kind of thing, in the case of Odyssey, but not LBRY, there's also a human sort of moderation system where you can report. Human. Okay.
But that's before the posting. So once it's posted, are you able to take me down?
Odyssey can take things down. LBRY cannot.
What does that mean?
So like Odyssey can block it from being used in a certain way. Odyssey can filter content, can ensure that content isn't seen. On the underlying LBRY network, there's not an ability for the company to interfere with that.
So meaning those that have previous access to it have access to it in perpetuity, but you won't push it out.
Correct. Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Can you tell me anything about Section 230?
There you go.
So Section 230, I do think there's a lot of misunderstandings about this. Like, I think 230 is actually good for tech companies in the sense that it makes them less liable for content that's published on the platforms. Now, maybe if you want the platforms to be more liable, maybe you don't like 230, but I don't think 230 is somehow protecting Facebook or these companies. I think big tech would like to replace it with something that cements their control. But for a company like mine, being directly liable for how users use it would introduce a lot of risk for us. So my view is that 230 actually helps protect us.
So this for Jeremy and Anthony to confirm or deny, see if I got it generally correct for the audience. 230 is federal code, which protects Facebook, YouTube, all of this from what you post. If you say somebody's a pedophile, that would be libelous, right? That would be detrimental to somebody's character and their reputation. That's the First Amendment. That's not protected under free speech. What 230 does is protect the company that you posted on from also getting sued. Is that correct, guys?
Precise. Yeah.
Right. So, for instance, if you publish that in the New York Times,
You can hit the New York Times.
the New York Times could be in trouble because they are a newspaper and they have an editorial process. And if it's shown that they knowingly knew that was false, for instance, they could be held.
Yeah, and 230 also grants protection in the sense that it, like, some moderation doesn't mean that you're liable for not moderating something, right? So even if you're doing some moderation, if you happen to miss something, if something, got through or whatever, you're not liable for that just because you were moderating other things. And, I think there's a lot of frustration out there with these companies. I share it. I think they suck. I can't believe what they've become, honestly, as someone who's used all of these services for like a decade. It's crazy to see it. But I think I still think these problems are solvable through competition. I think there are companies like mine or Minds or other companies that are coming up, and these companies are getting disrupted. I mean, and so I don't think we need to fix it through legal means. I think we can fix it through our own voluntary choices, where we can go out and use alternatives, and we're not stuck with this status quo that stinks.
Okay, regular person question. Sorry, Karen, go ahead. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Go ahead, Karen.
Say anything. That was Anthony that was about to
That was
ask
me. Sorry, I was just going to ask.
It's not your birthday, Anthony. Hold on now. Hold on. Nope. My show.
Go ahead.
My show. It might not be on Vice TV.
Go ahead.
But it's my little show from this little basement. Karen,
lower level.
Thank you. Ding. Happy birthday. Okay. I spent a decade developing friends and audience, people that are like-minded, they're interested. If I move over to Odyssey, do I have to give up YouTube? Do I have to give up Facebook? Do I have to give up Twitter?
Absolutely not. And we don't even recommend it, because if you go cold turkey from one to the other, you're going to lose 80-90% of your audience, truthfully. So what we recommend is setting up the channel and beginning to encourage your audience to also follow you over there. So you mention it, either every show or from time to time, and maybe you start doing occasional exclusives or occasional extras to help move that audience. But it takes time. It takes time for people to change their habits. And right now, everyone's got a bunch of bad habits, right? Everyone's addicted to these sites that have become harmful to them. But it's still an addiction. It's like most people aren't going to be able to go cold turkey. You got to do it over time.
We're going to help you build your brand, right, Jeremy? Is that?
Yeah. He's going to help me build my brand. That's
and we help. We have a team, so our team can absolutely help you.
Now, from a content creator standpoint, that's great. But
time out.
What?
Okay,
what happened? Where am I going? What?
I hate that word. I'm a content creator.
From a podcast
you mean
creator
you're making
standpoint.
some shit and you're posting it online? I'm a content creator. It's
content,
boring,
Charlie.
stupid. I don't like the word.
What should we call you? How do you identify?
Dude.
All right, as a dude out there,
There's this dude who's saying some shit, and he wants people to hear what he got to say.
okay, but as
From the lower level.
The lower level, the mezzanine garden.
As a user of YouTube, what is Odyssey giving me that I'm not getting there?
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, as a user of YouTube, are you not frustrated by YouTube? I mean, the fact that the way that YouTube treats these creators, they have all these secret algorithms. You can't find the stuff. I mean, one of the most common things I hear from people who sign up to Odyssey is they go, "Oh, I remember that guy. I used to like that guy. That guy in a basement who was just saying shit. I used to love him. What happened to him?" And he hadn't gone anywhere.
got a new hat.
YouTube had put their thumb on the scale and they buried him. And that's one of the worst things that they do, right? Because if you get banned from YouTube, at least you know that you're banned. But they do something that's almost more nefarious, where they say, just don't return them in the results. Just don't show them to people. And you're out there putting this content out, wondering, hey, why did my views fall by 90%? And the answer is YouTube decided they didn't like you, and they were too cowardly to even tell you that.
I was sitting here thinking, just nobody liked me anymore. It's like my mother stopped calling. I call my mother, she doesn't call back. I'm thinking, She doesn't like me, but now it turns out my mother's algorithm is a little bit whack.
Well, what about your algorithm with Odyssey? How do you choose which ones pop up first?
Yeah.
So, right. That's a great question.
Thanks.
So we still
The
do have to have
question.
algorithms. Now, in our case, and algorithms are complicated. I can explain some of the factors that go into ours, but everything we do is open source.
Okay.
So there's none of this secret crap, right? Where you don't even know how they're doing it. And so in our case, everything we do is public. Computer scientists and other experts can audit it and can understand it. It's a little bit beyond a layman understanding exactly how it works, but it is all out there and it is all public.
No.
How is this different from Rumble?
Well, Rumble doesn't do any of these things. So Rumble is not built on this protocol. It doesn't have this property where you actually own your channel. Rumble's just trying to recreate YouTube with all the same incentives, right? So, even if Rumble is good now, YouTube was good a decade ago. Why will things play out differently at Rumble? The answer is, I have to trust the CEO or I have to trust the people running the company. In our case, you don't even have to trust me because everything we do is open source. Everything we do is decentralized. I could get taken over by a brain worm, that turned me into Mark Zuckerberg, and the show would go on.
Oh, you're
There's
much
not
more
that ability
handsome
for that
than
kind of
him,
cap.
man. Who's doing Zuckerberg's hair? Look at this motherfucker. This is how a CEO's hair is supposed to look.
Well, I can tell you, no one does mine. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a cap. I decided to stop cutting it for COVID. It's really not working. It's not okay.
But
so
Rumble's
how do
also
I?
not open source, so you can't find out this stuff about it either. That's another.
How
aspect.
do we the No Bullshit News Hour get on your homepage? I got this really great video I'm going to show you. Can you hook a brother up?
Yeah. So man, just sync that channel. All you got to do is you sign up at Odyssey.com. You check the button that says I want to bring over my YouTube channel, and we'll get you on the homepage.
Oh,
So Facebook is changing its name. I mean, what do you think is behind that? Is because of the
wait. Time out, Karen. Wait a minute. So we just link over there, and we'll get up on the
That's right.
homepage.
That's simple.
So does everybody that signs up get a moment on the homepage? That's just for us. It's like the Aaron Rodgers discount on
Discount double check.
Yeah, discount double check.
There are algorithms that can allow anyone to get onto the homepage, but you would have to, your content would have to be performing well. And so on.
Go ahead, Karen. I apologize for that. I just want to make sure we're getting up there because we gave up on Reddit. Fuck Reddit.
I was just asking about Facebook changing its name. So is it trying to go through a brand refresh or trying to, shake all the negative criticism and scrutiny they've been subjected to of late?
I don't know. I mean, I don't trust anything out of them. That's a part of this that I think is so odd is we don't trust these people generally. Like if you ask most people opinion about Mark Zuckerberg, you'd be like, that guy is a sneaky motherfucker. Right? Like no one wants to trust him. and then we're turning to this
breaking news. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Sorry, breaking news. Exclusive No Bullshit News Hour. Jeremy Kauffman, CEO of Library and Odyssey.com, calling Mark Zuckerberg a sneaky motherfucker. We return you to our regular programming. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Look, they are. We all saw the movie, right?
We saw the movie.
I don't think it's up for
Robbie
debate,
LePay
right?
made this fucking movie.
We saw that documentary by Aaron Sorkin, the well-known documentarian, and why would you want that guy to be in charge of what's true or not? Why would you turn to that person and say, we're going to trust you to filter what the American public is allowed to see? It's a terrible idea.
I feel sorry for Fuckerberg. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy just came up with some cool dating app in college and went berserk, and he doesn't know what to do.
I don't feel sorry for him.
Jeremy, what's your link? We've got some of our viewers asking what it is.
The ODYSE.com is Odyssey.
ODYSEE.com. SEE.com. Okay, just wanted to share it. Thank you.
S-double-E or S-E?
ODYSEE.com.
Boom. We're going there. Go there. We're going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And it's real cool of you to do this, bro. You know what I mean?
Thanks. It was great to be here.
Well, you want to hang out?
Sure.
I want to show you something. Okay,
All
LePay,
right.
this is going to be a piece going into your piece, right?
All right.
But before we do that, I want you to know that, listen, if this piece shows you what's not getting done in the inner city for real. This piece is going to show you how truly fucked this place is, how corporatized city halls become, how they're a lapdog to big business, and they're not doing anything for the regular people, and how the media buys in, because when the media leaves media, they go to work for these people. So if you need buildings torn down, if you need to work through the red tape of City Hall, you call ADR. ADR consultants are the ones you call when you need to get something done right, on time, and on budget. If you are trying to get permits, variances, or help navigating the jungle of City Hall, of Lansing, you call ADR. That's Barry Ellentuck at 248-318-9424. He is what? He's ethical,
honest,
and smart.
And good to use.
248-318-9424. All right.
Beautiful. Give him a call.
Okay, give him. Now, dig this, bros. This is fucked. Anthony, you and I worked media journalism together in New York. What I'm about to show you, bro. If this was happening in the Bronx, scandal, front page, day after day after day. If it was Philly, Jeremy, Philly, is rugged. Seen better days. What I'm about to show you, I've never seen. Karen, who used to be basically the de facto chief of staff during the bankruptcy, was trying to fight this. You heard about the miracle? Stop texting.
Texting Joe.
Who? Mannequin?
Mannequin Joe, yeah.
He's a mannequin. He can't text back.
Oh.
The fucking hands don't work.
Yeah, no, voice to text.
Oh, he's doing blockchain. See, our mannequin, our super guy, he was talking all kinds of shit, Jeremy, beforehand. And I said, come on and ask him. That's really interesting. He goes, I think it'd be difficult to unmute. He can't
he doesn't
unmute,
know what Web3 can do. I mean, blockchain, you just put a blockchain on it, solve everything.
Fucking blockchain. Okay. So having said this, my brothers and sisters and everybody out there, watch this. We're 2 weeks from the election. The media are not even covering it. The mayor refuses to even debate his opponent. This is the No Bullshit News Hour, bringing to you real people's lives. Children. Our children. Rolling. Pulaski Elementary used to be here in this nice neighborhood, nice building, old. So they moved the elementary over there. Nice building. The neighborhood, not so much. About 400 children attend Pulaski Elementary and Middle School on Detroit's East Side. But how can children learn when the school is surrounded by unwholesome buildings that double as shooting galleries for dope addicts and graveyards for rodents? There is no excuse. The school has been here for 2 years, and guess who owns these buildings of vomit? The city of Detroit and its land bank. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And there's this one, this one, and there's this one. Nice school. The fields of garbage, that's the city too. That means Mayor Mike Duggan. And he's up for re-election. He talks a big game about painted parks and clean alleyways, but it's just talk. And this! Take it down! If this school were in the Bronx or LA or Royal Oak, this outrage would be front page news. Kids surrounded by rot. But the media here doesn't care. Not really.
I called in a few times about the house and no response. I don't get anything out of it. And I really don't know why this home is still sitting here. The roof is destroyed. It's nothing I don't think they can do. The house is collapsing on the other side. The kids be going to school, walking up and down the street. A kid could be taken in there and wouldn't nobody know.
There's a lot of weirdos still out here. In the pandemic over with, you gotta look out for these, the weirdos, and look out for the babies and look out for the kids and everything. You feel me? That's all, just looking out for the babies.
You complain, but it don't do no good.
His children.
Yep.
The city owns that. What happens in here?
A lot of drug use, day to day. School that 2 burnt up houses that shouldn't be here. Should have been torn down a long time ago.
Okay, it's election year. What do you want to tell the mayor?
Just straighten up the neighborhood, tear down the houses.
He said he did.
No, not over here.
Get it done.
Get it done. The election is 2 weeks away, but Duggan's hiding in his badger hole. He won't debate his opponent. He'd have to explain the $750 million in demolition money he squandered, the 2 grand juries, the poison dirt, the serial killer houses like these, the safety of the kids he promised. All of this. Hey, it's LeDuff. I'm in the neighborhood with some citizens, and we're by a school, and we want to know why there's so many abandoned buildings and garbage laying all over the place. Mayor's running on to clean up the alleys. Doesn't look like it from here. A lot of kids. Give me a call. You can't blame the public school administrators or the school board. They want the crud taken down too. But it's all on City Hall, who never calls anybody back.
I think if they weren't picking and choosing, if they were putting folks to work, we can get these buildings down a lot faster. If they said it was the money and they were provided the money, then what's the problem? And so that's why the people in the city of Detroit that continue to support the agenda of the mayor should be asking these questions. But citizens as a whole, those that voted for him and those that didn't, those that will vote for him and those that won't, the promises and commitments were made, but a promise made has not been a promise kept.
The gravy goes to the contractors in Detroit. The people get the dirt. Now, the mayor's not the king. He's just a little guy in a bad suit. And if he won't take your calls, Detroit, well, we'll take your grievances to him. That's the American way. Good. I left a couple messages. I'm trying to get Roach or somebody from the mayor's office.
Okay, you left a couple messages.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get Mr. Roach.
Yeah.
And you left them with Mr. Roach when, sir?
The last one was today, this morning.
Sorry, are you filming?
Yeah, he's filming.
Yeah, you can't do that here.
You can't film inside here. You can step outside.
Yeah, you can film in here.
No.
You see this sign right here? You cannot film in here.
Yeah, but that's a policy, not a city ordinance. It's called the First Amendment. So we can film in the building. Can't question City Hall. I ain't gonna forget about you kids. Those are coming down. Karen.
We've been talking about safe routes to school for far too long. And so even in the change of administrations, that was supposed to be a continuation of that commitment, but it's not happened. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, this doesn't even seem like this is an election cycle. You don't see vote for on any of Duggan's billboards. It's just, hey, we cleaned up the alleys. Hey, we tore down this house. But I think that's all by design. It's kind of intended to just lull people into thinking that everything is okay. And it's not.
No, it's short answer. Jeremy, where you living now?
I live in New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire.
You see that kind of shit in New Hampshire?
Absolutely not.
Would you put up with it in New Hampshire?
No way. People would not put up with that around here.
Fuck me. Anthony, where you living, man? Manhattan?
Manhattan.
Washington Square Park area?
No, down Battery Park City, Tribeca.
Battery Park City, Tribeca. Near Ground Zero, just a few 20 blocks.
Right up.
Ground Zero happened there. You got that kind of shit in your neighborhood?
No, I mean this is a tragedy waiting to happen. It's horrible.
It's a tragedy ongoing.
Yeah,
and again,
and that's not the only place. That's the thing, Charlie. That's not independent. It's not just one thing. That is a microcosm of almost every neighborhood outside of downtown Detroit.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's not one
you
thing.
got it. It's the two cities. Like Anthony, I'm very proud of you, what you've done in your career and how you're going around the globe and you're trying to explain things. Look at that. Jeremy, I'm very proud of what you're doing and you're trying to fight back. I used to put those things on TV. All of a sudden, all the hipsters and the feel-good people don't want to see it. There's no voice for the majority of us. That's actually a hip video, and it's fucking outrageous. All of us here in these four squares here, I think we pay a lot of taxes. In fact, I know we do. And I want my money to go to kids. I don't want to pay for a grown man to feed him for the rest of his life. I expect this motherfucker to get off his ass and try to feed himself. But no child in this great country of ours, I didn't say great society, the great country, no kid goes hungry. Where's my money? My wife works in that school, by the way. Full disclosure. She got transferred. Locked her keys in her car. I went there and went, motherfucker. I've never seen that. Give me an answer, Jeremy. Give me an answer, Anthony. Short answer. What do we as a society of men and women do?
Jeremy, I'll let you go first.
Oh man. I mean, my practical policy answers, they just got to sell the buildings and or knock them down. But also, I think if you live in a shitty place, get out. I mean, we got to sort ourselves out. That's why I came to New Hampshire, and that's why I left West Philadelphia.
We can't.
But everybody can't get out.
Yeah, we're broke. We're broke. We can't. No, it's cool, man. It's a good thing to say.
Yeah.
It's like that. We to go where? By what means?
Right. If your house is only worth 20 grand, right? How are you going to move somewhere else?
Watch this. 75% of Detroit is a renter.
Right.
I mean, this is serious.
How about some accountability for the people that the residents of this city elect? What about a degree of accountability in these in elected officials, public servants doing what they're supposed to do and not painting a pig yellow and trying to convince you that it's a duck?
And here's the segue to what Anthony is working on. Bro, they're starting to make me sound like a tax revoltist because what's happening now is everything gets taxed on your property tax, not your income tax, where you don't see it. They're taxing your domicile. I can't afford everything to keep being stacked on to the day I die when corporations keep dodging everything they're expected to do. It's unsustainable.
Exactly.
My wife works there. My child lives not 3 miles from there. Right? The tale of two worlds. That's impossible. It's the same world. It's the same community. Fuck me. Okay, listen. If you do have a home and you're not sure, now's a great time to refi. How you guys like that? Look how I take care of my...
It's a tough segue, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good segue.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Listen to what we're talking about. We're not sure, but interest rate, look, I looked it up. 15-year fixed.
Yeah.
It's at 3.
Ooh.
Right?
Better call.
30 years at 2.5. Refi. Get yourself some room. Right? I feel things are starting to turn and you got to find some liquidity. You got to you got to go with somebody you trust.
Who should I call?
You call David Hall Mortgage. Right?
Pretty simple.
I'm just going to say this without even looking at any fucking script.
Yeah.
You get personal help, personal attention. You're not clicking your name in a box and all of a sudden they quote you a rate. They're going to walk you through it. They're going to get you a realtor. They're going to give you an appraisal.
And quick.
Now, I do have to look because 248-308-5000. I had this memorized. I should tape it up here.
I'm just going to ask me.
248-308-5000.
Yeah. Callhallfirst.com.
Yeah, or DavidHallMortgage.com.
Either
All right,
one.
David. All right. Take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
These people out here, these are my people. Take care of them. I know you will because Mark's worked with you.
I've used them.
I've worked with you. And it's Karen's birthday. Ooh. You look great for 38.
Thank you. I'm getting younger and younger through the show.
I like the soft lighting. Unbelievable. Okay, so now, how do we do this? How do we want to do Anthony? He's been sitting here. Let me go like this. Anthony LePay is, shit, man, we were kids together in New York. He's now the executive producer, and the showrunner of season 2's debut of While the Rest of Us Die. The rich get rich, the rest of us die. No offense, Jeremy, you've earned it. You know what I mean? Okay. This episode is called The Game is Rigged. It is narrated by Westworld's Jeffrey Wright, right? It's really dynamite.
It's really good.
It's really good. We'll suck his balls after this. He was gonna send us the media clip. I didn't like the media clip, bro. And we had to do our own. You know why?
Why?
I'm not in any of the media clips.
There was. You were in the clip. You were absolutely in the clip.
Not
They
enough,
must have
though.
sent you the wrong one.
Not enough.
They sent the wrong one. There you go.
Sent the wrong one.
That's a good
The
EP
one you
answer.
sent out to the Hollywood Reporter. I'm not in it. I come home to do
sent
God's
you the
work.
whole part of what you were in, I thought.
I come home to do God's work, to look after kids, and I can't get nothing. No, anyway, it's a great episode. Can you please stop texting?
Jeremy has to go. I was gonna let you know that.
Oh, Jeremy's got to go. You got to go, bro?
Yeah, I got to bounce. Thanks a lot for having me on, Charlie. This was awesome. I love what you're doing. Thank you.
Really great, man. I'll be in touch. Thanks, dude, for coming.
Yeah.
Good.
Congrats on the platform. It looks cool.
Thanks.
That's why I was texting. Back to our.
Why don't you just say it out loud?
I was going to.
Let's-
You were on a roll.
How long's this clip?
About 2:10.
It's about 2:10, not 30 seconds. There's a generous portion of me in here. So before we go into this, set it up, man. What is the premiere episode, The Game is Rigged? What is this about, bro?
It's really the kind of secret history of how the financial industry ate the American dream. I'll put it that way. It's really how they hoodwinked us, and so many of us, to see, like what we were talking about earlier, government and taxes as evil, while they have been evading taxes and putting the bill on the rest of us.
Okay, let's roll it.
Back in the day when we bundled the mortgage and they were giving them the pigs, you know what I mean? Dead people, non-existent people, and they were bundling them into financial instruments. Dan Gilbert said, from Quicken Loans said, I never sold subprime mortgages. So I know the people at the Office of Registrar. I got 1,600 mortgages originated by Quicken Loans. Took a random sample of the beautiful mortgages that he issued. Within 10 years, half of them went belly up, and half of the ones that went belly up were either stripped, burned, or occupied by squatters.
The financial meltdown in 2007 was caused in great part by the greed of financial institutions like Quicken Loans, offering easy mortgages and the promises of a decent life, even though that life had become unaffordable. And when those loans collapsed, so did Detroit. But not the financial institutions. The Justice Department settles its case against Quicken, which never admits to wrongdoing. While their borrowers pack up and vacate their now foreclosed homes, Quicken not only survives, but then thrives by going public.
A multi-billion-dollar IPO, and I'm told it will be one of the largest, if not the largest IPO in the U.S. this year.
The sale made Dan Gilbert the 17th richest person in America.
We think if the check cleared, Jim.
But Gilbert's business dealings in Detroit didn't stop with Quicken Loans.
We're very, very proud to have the opportunity to own this property here.
Gilbert takes advantage of the fire sale prices he helped ignite to spend billions buying nearly 100 properties in a city decimated by risky lending.
He owns this block. He owns that building. He owns the building behind this building. He's gonna own this skyscraper. Wow.
Anthony, what's your estimation of what happened to us here in Detroit? I know you've put in.
Oh man, you're the expert on Detroit. But I think you nail it when we really kind of look under the hood, and there's just a common misperception in America that the story of our failing inner cities is a story of simply manufacturing moving overseas, right? And everyone says, oh, well, the factories were gone and that's what happened. But really what we tried to look at was since the really beginning in earnest in the 1980s, the rise of the financial industry in America and the predatory aspect to the banking industry, the loan mortgage companies, and the ways in which developers like Gilbert and many others use tax breaks and government incentives to really suck all this wealth out of communities into things like high rises where no one's even really living, right? I mean, this is a story you know much better than I do, but I think that's the real story that we tried to look at, which is that everyone sort of has this very simplistic idea about the problem of the sort of dwindling middle class in America. And I think it's much more complicated than just manufacturing moving to China.
Well, it's kind of like part and parcel. You didn't used to be able to move your manufacturing to China. You couldn't even trade with China 20 years ago. Banks had to keep a certain amount of money in the bank. Banking deregulation happened. World trade deregulation happened. Everything moved away. And I think what was really great about this piece that you did was the American companies decided they were going to get out of the business of actually managing manufacturing and get into financing, get into stock, and let the third world do the building, ship it back in here. We all have cheap prices. But at the same time, our standard of living starts to collapse. And I think the most beautiful quote was at the very end when, I forget his name, but he says, we as the American society used to go into Africa and Central America and suck the resources out of them to make ourselves rich. And now we've turned it on ourselves.
Yeah. Doug Rushkoff. Yeah, I think he really nailed it. It's like, and the other point he makes right before that is that, it's not sustainable. Sucking all this wealth out and not giving people job security and healthcare and all the and pensions, all the things that we used to have if you worked in a factory. As shitty as that factory job may have been, at least you had those things, right? I mean, my grandfather worked for the Army, and they had a nice house and a car, and he had a pension, and they lived a very, very sustainable, life with one income, right? In working for the government. So that's just not feasible anymore today. You wouldn't live in a nice part of town on that kind of salary. So I think it's really, but the point is that Doug made was the system is not sustainable, because if you take all the money off the table, as he says, there's not going to be anything left for people. This is why we're in a situation right now where the government has to keep printing money. We're in this crazy sugar high fake economy right now where the government is just printing money and handing it out to people, keeping people afloat. But it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable to pay people $10 an hour and not give that, or $15 an hour that Amazon pays, and not give them health care, not give them any benefits or savings. So that's what's really unsustainable about it.
There was a really interesting point made in that episode too, in that those CEOs or those bosses used to live in that community, so they would care about it. And nowadays, you'll see a story on the news about how, hey, look at this owner who cares about his workers and everything he's done for them. And I just don't understand where that got lost or why that got lost.
It's a really good point. I think it's part of the culture of CEOs and this kind of masters of the universe idea that they believe that they truly, they breathe different air, And I think they're scared too. I think fundamentally that's why they're walling themselves off and building bunkers and, in New Zealand and whatnot, because they know that the pitchforks are going to come if we keep going.
Absolutely.
Like this.
I mean, 50 years ago when Detroit was the richest city in the first world, in the globe, 50 years ago, I was alive. I was in kindergarten, right? Mm-hmm. Your CEO made 30, maybe 100 times more than the average hourly worker. Now it's 1,000 to 3,000 times.
Yeah.
You saw the school folks. Anthony, you've been doing this for a couple of years now. This is your second season. You're really digging into it. it's a fascinating show. It really is. And I'm hooked. You hooked, Karen?
I am totally hooked. I just, when I saw that you were going to be on, I said, okay, I'm going to turn it on and see. Charlie was in the opening scene. So I'm like, okay. But it was fascinating. And not only in terms of the impact that it's had on Detroit, but you have to get the comprehensive picture of how all these things play. And I can't wait to see next week's episode, because there is an all-out acquisition of land across the country, by millionaires. And people are saying, okay, what's going on? People really have to listen. It's not a conspiracy theory. There's something going on. And you just got to start connecting the dots. And you've started that. I loved it. I'm actually going to watch it again this afternoon.
Look at that right there. So listen, it's called While the Rest of Us Die. And it's on Vice Television. And people are texting me. This is how fucking bad it is, my brother. How do I get it if I don't have cable? So how do they get it if they don't have cable?
Yeah, it's available on Roku, Hulu, and a couple other of those platforms if you have.
Okay, so you go pay for it. I'm telling you, go pay for it.
I think you don't. I think if you have Hulu, like
you got to pay for it, bro.
Roku,
if you don't have Hulu,
you have to pay for it.
I think you got to pay for Hulu now, don't you?
Yeah. If you're paying, you have to pay for one of those. But I'm saying it should be included. It's included.
Why don't we have a watch party, Charlie, so people who don't have it can watch it?
Because Anthony doesn't make any fucking money because he's got a kid.
Anthony's not that kind of guy. He's doing this to make a difference. But at some point, you can come in. We need to have a watch party. Let's do that.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay,
The next episode is about food, as Karen just mentioned, and it's actually really fascinating. Everything ties together. All the episodes are really sort of telling one story from different perspectives. But what we get into in the food episode is actually the secret history of sugar, and how the sugar industry really was like big tobacco. In manipulating science, and really I didn't know all this, but when growing up, everything was all about no fat this, no fat, low fat that was actually the sugar industry saying, hey, actually look over here, fat is bad, right? So they strip fat out of our milk, right? And you get that blue, disgusting dishwater, no fat milk. You need that fat actually to digest things, and for our saturated fat is actually good for us, in certain amounts. Yet everyone became obsessed with stripping fat out of things. Like you even have the absurd thing where
no. They became, and this is part of they became obsessed with pussy and looking good. And having a Maserati and having credit. They became obsessed with lifestyles of the rich and famous.
That's when it all ties together.
That's exactly it.
Exactly.
But even the piece about Weinstein, they were like, okay, he was providing these young girls, but what they were more intrigued with was his ability to show them how to get around paying taxes. And people always wonder how rich people don't spend their money. They don't pay themselves. They borrow.
They borrow against it. Exactly.
And people don't comprehend that.
And we're sitting here talking about tax rates as if it makes a difference. They don't care whether the tax rate is 30 or 40% on income, because they can make up whatever income they want every year.
I got friends that are like this. Hey man, if the government's going to spend and it creates jobs, I'm for it. And I'm like, oh, you're really not understanding the ABCs of it. Now that they ship the shit out, they got you by the balls. And if you don't guarantee me a profit, I will move the fuck out. But what's happening now is labor's so cheap that the big boys realizing it's worth bringing manufacturing back, except we got to subsidize it. Now, having said that, you, by the way, where'd you go to college?
Me? NYU.
NYU. What'd you study?
Politics.
He didn't study economics. He took the bullshit degree. He did. It's like basically history. So now that you're really getting into it, bro, and now you kind of are a professor of economics, is there any way out of this?
Well, I mean, this may sound like
short answer.
Yes. I think we have to you have to get money out of politics. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. When you have to run a campaign and raise $500 million, you're just end up being bought and paid for. So Wall Street and billionaires, they own the process. So of course the tax code, you're going to be able to
money out of politics.
I think that's one of the most important things.
Money out of politics.
Never happen.
Let me think about that. Money out of politics.
It'll never happen. It should, but it'll never happen.
Politics.
I mean, these people are all puppets, and you pointed that out in the show. money buys access. That access shapes influence. Influence determines outcome. Outcome shapes impact, and it's a vicious cycle.
You know what else? The vicious cycle is me trying to prime Mark for a drop, like money out of politics. Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay. When you wake up out there.
They make the rules.
When you wake up out there. Okay, look. At least, I don't know. Some of you are going to be okay. You know, we do have a generous Social Security system. We do have Medicaid and Medicare. And Medicare's complicated. No, don't be laughing at this. Medicare's complicated. And the government makes all sorts of rules, regulations, and you don't know what they are.
No.
You don't. You don't know. You make a move, you're going to be penalized. Right? You don't know when you're even ready and eligible for Medicare. So you want to know what you do?
Yeah, I'm lost. What do I do?
I'm giving you a name, MediGuide. They have licensed agents at MediGuide that do nothing but Medicare all day long. You call, they answer. You have questions, they have answers. They're local to Southeast Michigan, so you can meet them face to face if you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can also do Zoom. You can do it by phone.
They'll help you.
Then make sure you understand your options. Do not fuck up. Sorry about that, MediGuide. I said the F word. Older people don't like the F word.
How do you know, Charlie?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Well, I'm thinking
The
about
fun
the
ones,
very
too.
old. I'm thinking about my grandpa. God rest him. But you know what? It was easier back then. You applied, you got it. It's just getting complicated. Listen,
A lot of hoops.
the services, if you call MediGuide or get a hold of them on the web, come at no cost to you. No cost. You pay nothing extra. So when you're turning 65, and I think you're eligible earlier, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Write this down, Karen, for next year.
Yeah, I was just-
Things to do next year.
No, it's not,
knew that
Charlie.
was
You
coming.
write it down.
That's right. I have it right here.
What is
What
it?
is it?
888-970-2940. 888. More inflation. Remember, it was just 800. Remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
1-800.
Yeah,
Now it's 888. Now you need a couple of eights.
Yeah, lots of eights.
This is how complicated it's getting. 888-970-2940 or go to yourmedicareguide.com for an appointment. All right.
Love it.
All right, dude, this is great. You got any work for me? You see how great I am with those videos?
I'm working on it.
I have a Pulitzer Prize
I've heard that.
and an Emmy.
He's impressed, Charlie. Can't you tell?
I am impressed. Well,
And,
we used to write together for the New York Times back in the 90s.
No, I used to give you advice on how to write better.
That's true. You did.
That is true. And now look at you. I'm proud of you, son.
Did you use
Thanks,
it?
man.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Well, we both got out of the writing game. That's a losing.
No, but it was awesome, man. I mean, back when we were doing it, I'm still doing it. You're still doing it. But you know that 2000s, that 95 to 210, that was the last great era.
It was because there were, we were sort of the only game in town. They didn't have the websites as
Yeah, the
competition.
internet ruined it.
Remember Gavin McGinnis over there? Over there.
Oh
Vice?
yeah, I used to write for Vice magazine. He was my editor.
Yeah, and he used to party and he was very cool and liberal. And then he turned into a jackass Proud Boy jerk off in a cup.
Yeah, we would have editorial meetings at a bar in the afternoon, and he would put a line of Coke on his hand in the middle of the bar and just do a line in the middle of the editorial meeting. It was the 90s.
Well, that meeting probably went on forever.
Now he puts it on a pencil and jams it up his ass.
Yeah, there's something definitely weird going on.
There's something weird going on, man. I mean,
the Proud Boys.
I mean, look,
Like,
I'm into dudes like fighting for the right and like saying shit's wrong, but I ain't following that asshole. I'm sorry. I kind of like him. I don't. I used to like him, and he went to the dark side.
Well, it's all very psychosexual, emotional with him. Basically, he got iced out from the other guys, so they went left, and he, went right because he was no longer part of the cool gang. So it's really as simple as that,
Speaking of cool gang, I mean, before you were doing this for Vice TV, you did Black Market. Yeah.
Yep.
Which, go ahead, Mark. You really love that show.
It's a good show. Yeah. Michael K. Williams, who we just passed away with. So you worked with him.
Who played Omar on The Wire.
Yep. And he was in Boardwalk Empire. He's Chalky.
Yes, it was great. So what about him, dude? Did you know he's going to die of an OD?
Man, I wish I could say it was more of a surprise. Definitely. Super sad. He really, just a super empathetic, caring person, to the point of it was, it was tricky to make a kind of pseudo objective TV show because he was so sympathetic and saw, we were hanging out with, at one point we go and interview these kids that were literally Omars. They were stick-up kids who went around and stuck up drug dealers and underground like poker games. And it was just bizarre. Like he wanted to like give him a hug and be like, yo, I was Omar. I was you guys. They had no idea who Omar was. And it was, but it was intense because even these dudes who were like just talking about killing people, for a stack of cash, he could see their humanity. And that was his greatest strength and that's the biggest loss, I think.
And a great actor. And you know what? Yeah. So fuck it, you got high. He didn't mean to die. And if I might as well. He played Omar in The Wire. That thing is streaming. You can get it at HBO, wherever. Watch that series because that was written by David Simon, a former reporter for the Baltimore Sun. And it's truth. And I just finished it. I watched it again. Greatest TV show ever, in my opinion. Maybe Breaking Bad was better. But it was redolent. The same things are going on. That show could be true today, and it was 15 years ago. That good. So, in memory of
Michael K.
Yeah. Michael K. I'm gonna drink this little beer right here. All right, cheers. Great actor. There's talent everywhere. There's talent at the Pulaski K-8. If you would only help it shine through, right? Now, having said that, I want to introduce this. Anthony, stay here, right? So watch this part. Karen, I just want to tell you happy birthday. I think what we're going to do is let this play and then go out. But
that's fine.
You're right. And this is Red. Everybody knows Red. He's red. His hair's red. His skin's red. He's half white. He's half black. He's black as the day is long. That's his culture. That's where he grew up. And he decided he's going on his own world tour. The guy's getting in a car and he's going to do 2 comedy shows a day for a month. And he headed to the Deep South. He headed to Atlanta. And he didn't feel good about it. You're a mixed person. I'm a mixed person. It's your birthday. Give us some words to live by. I mean, you've been around a couple of years. I'm joking. You're beautiful. It doesn't matter how old. You do look 32. You do. You really do.
I look that old? No, I appreciate it, Charlie. But
you didn't get your hair done.
The thing about it is that we just have to understand that for the most part, we all want the same thing. I mean, we want to be happy. We want to be safe. We want to be healthy. And we have to stop making the decisions made by other people as personal. I mean, I can disagree with you and still like you. I don't have to disrespect you. I don't have to have disdain for you. And we have to stop making the choices of other people personal. We're really all in this together, like each other or not.
Yeah. And I believe this. I believe we've come a long way in this country, that in terms of real hate, there's very few. There's very few of us left, but you don't even know what you're doing. Most of us don't even know what we're doing. We don't even know how we're coming across. And just a little respect, a little time hanging out, it'd be much better, don't you think, Anthony?
Agreed. All
right. Make a better world for Karen's children, my children, Anthony's children, yours. Karen, I love you.
Love you too, Charlie. Thank you.
I want to tell my wife, Amy, I love you. Very brave. Mark.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right.
Have another fucking hot dog. Please, this is 15 minutes, but Red called me up a couple days ago and was crying.
He's hurt.
He's hurt. Watch it. I guarantee you won't be bored. And having said that, try to love one another. And if you cannot, at least put up with each other. World's getting small, right?
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anthony, my man. Don't leave. Watch this.
What's up? It's your boy, comedian Detroit Red. This week I decided for a story to share a little bit of my experience that I've had since I went to Atlanta, which, as I'm making this story, I'm actually in Atlanta right now. I've done a couple shows, been to a couple different places, had some decent shows. But today's story is really about my experience here in Atlanta. Right quick, a little history. Anybody in Detroit or that follows me or knows me pretty much know that I am as they say, biracial American, black and white, mixed. And that over the course of years, I've always made jokes and comments about, looking white and my brothers and sisters in my black community, some of them kind of, sending me through hell pretty much my whole life, which has made me who I am today and made me the type of person that I am today, because I love everybody and did not like feeling the discomfort of being a mixed individual who looks white and was raised black and thinks with a total black mindset to the most part, and have always stood up, defended, and tried to speak out for my brothers and sisters. But after almost being on this earth for 48 years, in the last couple days that I've been in Atlanta, and this doesn't apply to everybody here, I've gotten to experience a whole nother level of hurt with dealing with this, with the vibes and the feelings that I have received from not all, but a lot of the folks, brothers and sisters here in Atlanta. It's not a direct thing. Nobody has directly said anything to me in a racist form or fashion. But it's a hurtful thing to know that a person truly judges you off of the skin tone and not the person in the skin. And a lot of these brothers and sisters down south have endured so much pain and hurt and oppression and history of racism in the country for hundreds of years that I felt and experienced what a lot of them truly think and feel towards white people. And it hurt. Because I love everybody. And I take up for right and wrong. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I think that people need to understand that pain is pain. When you hurt a person, even though it's based off of good reason you may think, you're not solving nothing. You're just causing more pain. Now, earlier I talked to a couple of my friends and my family, and it brought me to tears to feel that type of dislike. Odd man out. Based off of my skin color. Based off of thinking that because of my skin color, my life is any easier and any better. When it's really not. You know, black people, white people talk about racism in this country. And it's always predicated on skin color. But none of y'all know what it is to live in my skin. See, because a person is who they raised to be, not what they look like. And to have the love that I do for people and to feel this type of pain after 48 years of being the type of person I am, it has really touched me to make me realize that we as a country are not progressing. All my life I've fought every day to win everybody's love, because all my life, every day, I've had to fight to find where I fit in. And in Atlanta, these last couple of days, I felt this is the biggest fight I've ever had. Trying to fit in with people I most identify with. Because I had a skin tone of people that they don't identify with or like. And I am mixed. I grew up black. I can't tell you too much about being white because I don't know. But they ain't even talking to me long enough to find that out. A server literally ignored me the entire night. And I was the first person there for the show. I even went on stage and made comments and jokes about it to try to laugh it off. And it was so bad that even the other tables, who probably thought I was just some white guy in their bar, took notice. And it couldn't have been for no other reason than she thought I was a white person. She don't like white people. So therefore, fuck who I am. Treat me however. And if this is the course we're going to take as people, even with all the evolving of the time, we never gonna solve this shit. We're never gonna get rid of it. No matter what you say or feel about why it's good reason, it still don't solve nothing. To hate a person without even knowing who they are, to dislike a person, to give a person indifferent treatment based off of a look, don't solve nothing. Being racist to answer racism doesn't stop racism. I have empathy. I understand why the anger is there. I understand why you may think you right to feel that way or be that way. But the reality is one day we all leave. And our kids and our grandkids have to live in this world. And is this the kind of pain we gonna continue to cause each other? Ain't shit gonna change. We leaving our kids and our grandkids a fucked up world. And I don't give a fuck what color you are. White, black, Dominican, Haitian, Jamaican, Asian, Italian, Greek, it don't fucking matter. Skin is nothing but a fucking covering. Keeps the rest of the shit in that keeps you alive. It's about being the person. It's about the people in the skin. And again, I'm going to say, I haven't felt that from everybody. But a large part of the venues and places I've been thus far, I felt it without a blast. This shit cut through me like a butter knife. It hurts. So to those that have practiced racism, white folks and black folks alike, it's people like me out here who had no control over who they were birthed by, what person or peoples decided to love each other and bring a child in this world. And what genetic traits I picked up from who. Had no decision, no choice in that, just like none of you do. But what we do have a decision and choice in is how we gonna treat each other. We gonna continue to hurt each other? Because I have never been this hurt in my life. And I know it comes from a bigger problem. It's not about me. It's about us. And after all this time, where some people still are, it's not progressing us. It's not going to do nothing for us. Whether it's social, economical, political, this shit got to stop. We have problems that we really need to address. The pain is way deeper than people really want to admit to on both sides. There are wrongs that need to be righted. And there are wrongs that need to be stopped in answer to the wrongs that need to be righted. Because it's not going to ever get right if we don't stop all the wrong. Even if you don't intend to or mean to. Racism, oppression, hate, all that is a love killer. And I'm not going to let my love for the world and people be killed by one of the oldest enemies of humanity. Because there's a lack of understanding. And that's racism. Oh, I hurt, but I'm strong. I will continue to stay here for the next 2 weeks and hit every stage and microphone that I said I was. Hopefully, before it's over with and I leave from this part of our great nation, I'll be able to show some people who may not know on both sides that I'm a product of love from two people on each side. So there's no need to hate me. because of what you think I am. Take a minute to find out where your love really come from. White, black, purple, green, or orange. Love has no color. And if we start looking through that perspective and see a person for the love they can give, then maybe we can get past the dumb shit we choose to hate and be racist towards each other on. My name Comedian Detroit Red, and I love each and every human being that walks this earth for the people they are, not the skin uniform that they wear. And hopefully, after some of y'all hear this, if you have had those thoughts and moved through your life like this, hopefully, you'll think a little different. Because nobody deserves to be in pain because of the skin color they wear. This your boy Comedian Detroit Red, reporting from Atlanta, NBN News. Love y'all. Deuces.
Operator, or could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. Living in LA with my best old
friend Ray.
Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels.
Wow. I love that, man.
Operator, or could you
Help me place this call. It's a brave person.
I can't read the number that you just gave me.
I'm glad you look well, Anthony.
There's something in my eyes. You know it happens every time. Think about the love that I thought would save me. But isn't that the way they say it goes?
Proud of you, man.
Forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. No, 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 no.
It's a nice program, isn't it, Anthony? Can't hear you. I don't think I'm allowed to. Our tech's so fucked up.
I really wanted to talk to.
I'll get you right after the program.
Thank you for your time.
Karen is, you're smart as a dime. You are gorgeous. I mean, that's shallow, but you are. It's true.
But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can't find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels.
And I thank you for your time. love one another.